Hi, so I'm Joseph Salvador, and currently it is December 3rd, 2021. And I'd like to start off by asking, when you die, how would you like to be remembered? How would you want your funeral service to go? And when I ask that question, most people think of, oh, I'm going to be embalmed, or I'm going to be cremated, and buried somewhere, buried 6 feet under in a cemetery, and that'll be it. However, I believe that we should do tree burials instead of embalming burials or these modern cremations and um, burial services. A lot of modern burials are very harmful to our health and they're just not sustainable, which is why I think we need to think of more sustainable ways in how we deal with death. With tree burials, we can reduce the materials and land space needed for the traditional buried 6 feet under modern burials, and completely get rid of all the chemicals that go into the bodies and have potential to seep into our water tables, our soils, and the land around us. And not only that, but tree burials also offer a more eco-friendly future for our loved ones, and they will also be more cost-effective and accessible to lower-income families or have a bigger sentimental value to them. And so I'd like to just go over I'd like to just explain what a tree burial is first. So I'd like to show you my visual. And so, as you can see, it's an egg, and the body goes into a fetal position within this egg, and it slowly decomposes within this egg. And when this egg is planted, another tree is also planted on top of it. So when this happens, the body decomposes and the tree grows. So the tree gets the nutrients from the egg, and eventually the body helps the tree grow into such a strong, healthy plant. And over the years, this is what it looks like, and the tree will keep growing, and the body will eventually get used up all by the tree, and it'll be and then the tree will be able to grow for years and years and years. And so not only will a tree burial grow a tree, but it's also a lot cheaper than many funerals that we have. Um, the average funeral costs around upwards of $9,000 to $10,000, and cremations start around $500 to $600. However, according to Joint Cake, the biodegradable urns from Capsula Mundi, the company that makes these, start around $457. And so I think with that, we just have to do tree burials instead of embalming burials. And so I'd like to go into why I think these modern burials are so bad as well. Well, when you think of formaldehyde, a lot of people just think of, oh, it preserves the body. But not only does it preserve the body, but it also is a very high carcinogenic, meaning it causes cancer. It's a very carcinogenic liquid. And so with these, it can cause nitrates and the formaldehyde to seep into our water tables, and it may affect our health, and it can affect our water and the air by the way formaldehyde evaporates into a gas and goes into our air. But thinking of that, in the 2020 in a 2020 article by Laura K. Lautz and Sarah H. Ledford and Julia Beltran, they wrote that the burial decay products are the source, to some extent, of the elevated nitrates in groundwater. And so this is important because our groundwater feeds into our rivers and our lakes and our drinking waters around cities, especially if they are cemeteries that are stationed right in between a large city. And so that could very well affect us. And not only that, but these modern burials just aren't sustainable. The caskets and preps for these are so expensive and uses so much material and land space just to upkeep and to essentially take care of something that is buried in the ground. And so in a 2020 article by the University of Florence, they say that they leave a high energy footprint and produces atmospheric pollution. And so just thinking of that, do we need to introduce more pollution into our environment, thinking of everything that is going on within our lives and within our earth right now? And when you think of graveyards, they're also just small little plots of land within a city that have a bunch of dead people laying under it. However, these graveyards will eventually be overcrowded, and I believe that with tree burials, you have the freedom of placing them in sentimental areas where in which your loved one wanted to be, or in places that the family thinks that would be a lot more suitable than just being in this place for dead people. And with tree burials, it will never overcrowd an area because trees will always keep growing, and you can always cut down trees. You can never take back the space in which you bury someone. But with trees, you can always prune them and keep them healthy and alive with managing their sizes. And so, my plan for this is that we need to do tree burials at a cheap price. And compared to other funeral costs, it's already a lot more cheaper, around the same price of just a cremation. However, cremations don't let you have that sort of ceremony or burial type thing. But with this, you can bury the egg with the person and it'll still be just as cheap and just as sentimental. And the people who will oversee this are the people who already offer these services. People who can do modern burials and people who can do cremations can just start offering this service and partner with Capsula Mundi or any other company that sort of provides the tree burial experience. And this all of this on top of the fact that we will be able to help our environment by planting more trees as well as slow down the prevalence of formaldehyde within our water and our soils. I think it's just such a foolproof plan. And it just reduces so much waste and it reduces the amount of chemicals that people can be exposed to, not only with after their burial, but the people who prep the bodies, the embalmers, the people within funeral homes, all those people who are affected by the chemical seepage from these bodies. And some advantages that we get are that burials will be more accessible to lower income families, and they will have they will get to have that special um, they will get to have that special sort of event to celebrate someone's life. And I believe that seeing life grow out of a death will really help with people coping. You'll get to see that this tree is regrowing from our bodies going back into the earth. And not only that, but if you plant it in a special space, that tree can stay there forever and it can be a memorial that shows life and keeps giving back to the earth every single year, rather than just a big box underground. And so with that, current modern burials are just so harmful and not sustainable. By normalizing tree burials, we can have a more environmentally friendly um, death event, and it will reduce the cost of or the need of spending $9,000 for a funeral and embalming and the whole everything. So, with that, I'd like to just tell you to talk to your family about how you want to deal with your death. And even though it's dark, planning your funeral, it won't hurt just to bring up different ways of burials and how you can be put your life can be give back your life can give back to the earth, and that your body will sustain and keep this tree growing as if you are also within the tree. And so I think with that, um, we all need to be open to helping change the status quo of burials with how harmful and how unsustainable our current modern burials are. And thank you so much. I'm Joseph Salvador.